long because I want to be able to answer questions. And I know there's a bunch of candidates here as well, but it's just so good to be here with everybody, especially in the midst of everything going on across the country and in the South specifically. We know that they are on a tirade of trying to eliminate Democratic seats across the country. And Florida is one of the epicenters of this. They drew out 4 congressional districts. And their goal is simple. It's not just to take away Democratic power, it's also to take away the ability for black people to have representation in the United States Congress. What they're aiming to do across the South is in the next 4 to 6 years, cut the Congressional Black Caucus in half. But we're not going to let them do it. We're not going to let them do it. Because even though on paper a district might seem red, but in this day and age right now, especially in this year, people are waking up. People are waking up. And Democrats are winning seats across the entire country. 90% of competitive seats that we have competed in the last year and a half, we have won. On the congressional level, on the state level, and also on the local level. So it just goes to show that we're in a winning streak, and we got to continue that. And we have seats here in Florida we need to protect. Right south of us, Darren Soto's seat. That's one of the ones that they drew out. We're going to make sure Darren gets reelected to the United States Congress. Tomorrow, I have 86 organizers that we've hired for the summer. It's our biggest class yet. I believe in year-round organizing. Many of you might know, I'm actually the first person elected to the next Congress because I'm running unopposed. Both in the general and the primary. But despite the fact that I'm not on the ballot, I'm still running the biggest campaign we've ever run because it's not just about me. It's about everybody. It's about making sure Leonard Spencer goes back to the state house. It's about making us on the quarterback. It was making sure that we have a clerk of courts who knows what she's doing, and very proud to endorse her. We're going to be knocking doors for all the candidates I've endorsed up and down the ballot with our 86 organizers. Tomorrow we're getting on 2 charter buses and we're going to Tampa to knock doors for Kathy Castor, which is another district that they tried to gerrymander. Making sure that we win these seats is important, guys. The United States Congress in control of it might come down to 1, 2, or 3 seats. 1, 2, or 3 seats. We got to do our part in making sure that we win every seat we can in the state of Florida. Because I know you're pissed off.
We are.
I know the raging grannies are raging. And we got a lot of work to do. So I just appreciate you having me here today. It's just such a blessing. I just came from a canvass where we're knocking doors to like John Lowndes to the state senate. He's going against a horrible state senator who we need to kick out. Angie Gallo, who's running to be the chair of the school board. We need to elect her. There's a Moms for Liberty candidate running against her. And a lot of people boo. But she's smarter this time because she's not saying she's Moms for Liberty because she knows it's unpopular. So make sure you tell your friends she's a crazy MAGA Moms for Liberty candidate, Alicia Farad. People need to understand who she is. No. And those are the nice words. And making sure that we elect Jane Amen over on East Orlando as well. Okay, so we have a lot of important races that we're going to win. But I'd love to answer any questions that anybody has here about anything going on before we move on. Yes?
Do you have any idea what Andy Beshear or anybody's going to do about Mitch McConnell? I know it's Senate, but still, any kind of jibber-jabber you can share?
I don't really have inside information because, number one, I have no idea what, what the status of the senator is. I really have no idea. But I will say that they want to keep it secret. And remember, it's not just that you don't have to just die to trigger something.
Right.
If you're incapacitated and you can't do your job, that also triggers something.
Right.
I would venture to say myself that if you can't show up to work for 2 months, your entire state of people are down a senator. And so they're obviously trying to keep something secret because they don't want Andy Beshear to have the ability to nominate and put forth a senator to serve the remainder of the term. So,
everybody understands the state that he's from, and Andy Beshear is Democratic.
Yes.
And Kentucky, he can do that.
Yes, yeah, and Andy Beshear is a Democratic governor in a red state. And so the last thing they want is a Democratic senator for the remainder of the year. So I'm not sure, to be honest. We'll have to see where that goes. And
honey, look at that other Republican that was out for like 3 or 4 months.
yeah, one of my colleagues, Thomas Keene, I think his name is Thomas Keene, who was out for about 4.5 months.
Right.
No one knew where he was. He was missing. And then he came back and he said, I was gone because I was depressed. Okay, well, of course it's important. Well, clinical depression's a real thing, and if he needs treatment, he needs treatment. But you also have to tell your constituents what the hell's going on, and you also can't just leave work for 4 months. Okay, I don't know about anyone else in here. If you left your job for 4 months, would you get fired? All right, so it's horrible what's going on. We obviously need more rules in terms of transparency on the health of members in the Senate and the House of Representatives, so people know what's going on. So, yes, thank you for the question. Any other questions? Yes.
So obviously there's a lot of chitter chatter about the Save America Act, and then
Yeah.
we've got our own version of it in Florida
Yeah.
here. So obviously, I can't remember the name of the organization, I think something Writers.
Vote Riders.
Thank you,
Vote Riders, oh yeah.
Obviously, it's not, it doesn't come into play till 2027.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot of effort that we're gonna have to make once we get through 2026, and obviously 2026 is like super crazy ass important. So now we get to 2027, we're gonna have to like ram through this like this bill situation. I think it's
Yeah.
HB 1991, I can't remember the number.
Mhm.
So what are you guys thinking about in terms of coming back to the state? Like, what are we doing other than, we're all happy to put the $67 or whatever it needs to be so each person can get their voter ID.
Yeah.
We can have a plan for everybody to go vote. But is there like a bigger, broader strategy? Or is it just vote riders, like ride or die kind of situation?
Well, the local organizing strategy is going to be really important across the South End of Florida, and that's how we've been able to get wins despite all the disenfranchisement and all the voter suppression across Florida. But guys, the way we're going to fix this is by passing federal legislation that preempts the state of Florida. It's the only way. Nothing else is going to happen. You cannot trust the courts. They should litigate it. Sometimes we'll get wins. The only way we're going to end gerrymandering in the South, and the only way we're going to get rid of the voter suppression, is federal legislation. There is no statewide solution to gerrymandering, because what happens is the blue states will create the independent commissions like they did, the red states won't do it, and then we have a lopsided Congress, which is what's happened for the past several decades. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act will undo a lot of what the state of Florida has done. And what I can tell you, and what I've been told, is that HR 1 through 10, our first 10 bills once we take back the House, those two will be in there. It's gonna be a priority, so. The federal legislation is just so important, and that's why it's so important that we take back the House, that we win the presidency, and that we actually do something about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
One over here.
Yes.
Federally, a lot of our angst is the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Is there something that, the Congress is going to do to either add to the Supreme Court or kill it altogether?
So
Yes.
So I'll tell you right now, there is a lot of energy on making sure we have big reform for the Supreme Court. I'll tell you what I believe we need to do. Number one, we need to add more Supreme Court justices. I agree. 100%. There's a few different ideas out there. I'm for any of these ideas. Ones that add more justices, so that way we have one justice per circuit. Another one, which is a little bit more of a creative idea, is that our Supreme Court should actually act like a circuit court and have, 30 judges essentially, where they're randomized per case, and it allows the Supreme Court to actually take on way more cases than they do right now. So there's a lot of creative ideas, but we need to do that. We need to end the lifetime appointment.
Yes.
We also need to make sure that we have a code of ethics that's enforceable by another branch. And those are the things we need to do to fix the Supreme Court. And the thing that Democrats need to do is, a lot of people don't know this, Republicans use it all the time, Democrats rarely use it, that we are able to set jurisdiction in the legislation we pass and essentially say the Supreme Court can't undo this law. It's something that Republicans put in their legislation all the time. but Democrats don't use as much. And I think it's something that we have to look at using sparingly. But when we talk about voting rights, when we talk about protecting the rights that we already have, I think we should be using that court jurisdictional language to protect our people. So, yeah. Yes.
Would you just tell us how you feel about term limits for the various houses?
Term limits? I'm for term limits. I mean, and it's
For
for
everybody?
for
Judges, senators, congressmen?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, generally, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, in Congress, we should definitely have term limits, 100%, in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. And it works on both ends. When people think about term limits, they just think about older people, and that's an important thing. Look, we've had a lot of colleagues die in office. It's changed the balance of power in the middle of Congress. That's not good for our democracy or our party.
Right.
So term limits are important. But let me give you an example on the other end. I got elected to Congress at 25 years old.
Yeah.
A lot of my colleagues are 75.
Right.
If I stayed till I was 75, I would have been in for 50 years. That's a long time for anyone to be in one office.
We want you there.
No, hey, no. Well, we want new people, right? I shouldn't be in office for 50. I shouldn't be in this office for 50 years. And so it works on both ends. And as more young people are getting elected, which is exciting, we also have to think about that. Now, I will say, I think it's a bit of a generational thing as well, because a lot of the new people coming into Congress don't stick around for a long, long time like a lot of my older colleagues do. And if you look at the class of 2018, more than half of that class isn't in Congress anymore. They either ran for a higher office or they went to another job. They did about 6 to 10 years and then they decided to move on. There's a cultural work that's different from generation to generation, and just the world of having a job and that being your job till the end of your days doesn't exist anymore in our economy. That's not how people are working. People are gonna have many careers throughout their lifetime. And I think new legislators kind of think like that too. But we can't just, bank on people doing the right thing. So that's why we need term limits. I think it's really important because it creates the problems that we have right now. So I'm 100% for term limits. What's the number? I don't know exactly. I mean, I could throw out a number right now, but I think we should just come together, talk with experts, figure out what makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know
right,
we've got
thank you.
many places to go, so thank you for stopping by. Thank you for bringing a little bit of light into our day and a little extra spark to our spirit to keep us going.
Shout out to the amazing musicians, the Raging Rams. That was amazing.